Have you ever done a good deed and kept it to yourself? It's actually not that easy. There's a little voice inside you that seeks acknowledgement. I mean, how can you throw away a perfect opportunity to cash in on those like me points? And what if you just accomplished something really, really amazing, but only you know about it? Should you toot your own horn and tell the world about it? It's natural for us to seek acknowledgement from others. I mean, we want relationships with other people, and the only way that can happen is if other people like us. However, there comes a point where that good deed can become a selfish deed, and the driving force behind the relationships you build is your ego. It's purely the need to satisfy your own self-interests, which sort of makes you a fraud. Ego doesn't add strength to your character. I believe it's an anchor that weighs you down in life. How can you ever be a good person if everything you do is out of selfishness? How can you ever learn if you already think you know everything? And why practice if you're already the greatest? One of the best quotes I've ever heard is, "True knowledge exists in knowing you know nothing." Socrates. Even though those words were spoken well over 2,000 years ago, they're still very true today. But that's enough of my opinion. I would like to now introduce you to a fellow creator on YouTube who makes excellent self-improvement videos through philosophy and psychology. My friend here, whose channel goes by the name Get the Picture, has been kind enough to let me feature a great video I saw of his called Learn to Tame Your Ego. Problems with Ego. This video explains the points I made earlier perfectly, and it's definitely a good lesson to be taken in by anyone. And also, be sure to check out the channel as well. Get the Picture. I will put a link below.
So, this evening I read the following Facebook update on a friend's wall. Just gave a homeless guy 20 bucks. No steak for me tonight, but I think I just saved his life. And that's great, you know? I mean, really, really great that you helped the poor guy. Awesome dude, and God bless. But why are you posting this? I mean, you gave him your money, and again, that's great, but why do you need to tell the world? A Facebook post won't do anything to help this guy. And it's not just you, dude. Sorry, I see these IFA updates all the time from so many different people. So all this IFA, or I'm fucking awesome updates, got me to think of this great book by Ryan Holiday called Ego is the Enemy. And this book really helps us to take a long, hard look at ourselves, and that is necessary from time to time. So this book is quite important. In fact, it's so important that I cannot even cover it all in this video, because we really have to go a lot more into detail of every single aspect, but I promise you I will do that later on. In this video, I will give you a short overview of 3 important lessons you can start reflecting on today. Lesson number 1, the disease of me. No, you are not the most important person in the world, but your ego wants you to believe that. So what your ego basically is an unhealthy belief in your own importance, telling you that everything revolves around you. And we have to face the fact that our ego is dangerous, because when we look at ourselves as the most important person, we often end up hurting others, you know, trying to push forward on other people's expense, and we have to be very careful here. But your ego is a clever son of a bitch, you know. It will trick you into believing that you just got a lot of confidence. But I will tell you right now, there is a huge, huge difference between ego and confidence. And I will go a lot into that subject in some other videos. And yes, of course, a Facebook post like the one I mentioned is harmless. But you always, always have to question your own motives and ask yourself, why am I doing this, you know? So speaking of I'm fucking awesome posts, elegantly brings me to lesson number 2. Please like me. Your ego wants you to be liked all the time by every single person in this world. It cannot stand the thought of being alone. And as you have already guessed, this is an utopic ego dream that will never come true. But still, we try to fit in or adapt to norms and behavior, you know? We change things like the way we dress, to the way we speak, and finally the way we think, you know? So suddenly we have changed our personality entirely, and to top it off, we have to juggle different personalities depending on different social contexts, and we wonder why the fuck we get stressed out, depressed, and so on. And actually, I have already made a video addressing this issue, so go check out my video on social conditioning if you want to learn more about the downsides of trying to please everyone. So finally, we have lesson number 3. Again, let me say that there is a lot of lessons in ego is the enemy, and I will go through them all in other videos, but for now, third lesson will be the last, and I call this third lesson, always be a student, or you don't know shit lesson, you know? We all know this one, and let me use myself as an example here. When I was younger, about 18 or 20, I was sure that I knew everything. I did not listen to anyone. No one should tell me how to live my life or give me any kind of advice. Fuck no. I do as I please, you know, careless, reckless, and at that time I did not give a shit because I felt immortal. But all that changed when I reached my early 30s and became a dad for the first time. When my son was born, something went terribly wrong, and to cut a long story short, he died just 4 days old. So where is that immortal feeling now, standing with your dead son in your arms, you cocky, careless bastard? Yeah, I know I can be quite hard on myself sometimes, but the point here is that I thought I knew everything. I thought I could go through life without dealing with tough feelings like sorrow, grief, and depression. I did not know shit. And that is a very valuable lesson, you know? Accept that you don't know everything and that you will keep on learning for the rest of your life.